So coming up on today's episode of the ProNerd Report, we got DevilFruit Joe from the DevilFruit Podcast. He and I are going to dive deep into Netflix's live-action YuYu Hakusho adaptation. We're also talking about whether or not Demon Slayer is a top-tier A+ anime, and we're talking about some of the dope anime that we're currently watching. All this and more on this episode of the ProNerd Report.
It's time for another episode of the ProNerd Report. Topic number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, just like I said in the intro, we have a very special guest today. He is the connoisseur of anime. He is an anime guru. He is one of the stars of the DevilFruit Podcast. This is DevilFruit Joe. So, Joe, how you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you tonight, my guy?
I'm doing good. So, for all the listeners who may not have heard the DevilFruit Podcast, can you dive into who you are and tell us a little bit about that show as well?
Sure. So, my name's Joe. Me, Ethan, and Jacob created our little show called the DevilFruit Podcast, and on it, what we do is we pretty much gamify watching and reviewing anime. So, as entertaining as so many anime podcasts are, we thought we should elevate slightly. So we'll decide a show, and then we watch the show, and then we draft characters from said anime onto teams, which we then pit against each other in competitions that we call our chicken bowls. that are just random competitions of skill that are decided at will by Ethan's lovely wife Cat, who knows nothing about anime. So we could potentially watch a show like Skate the Infinity.
Okay.
What we just watched. And she, Kat, decided that the competition we would pit our characters against each other at would be pinball.
Okay.
So we then went into 1v1 debates, like pulling a guy off of our team to say, this is why my guy would be better at pinball than your guy. So we get to practice. We get to practice our arguing skills, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
That's really cool. So, for all the listeners at home, can you tell everyone what's your history with anime?
Where I started?
Yeah, so what's the superhero origin story of Joe's anime obsession?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So, I am the youngest kid of 5.
Okay.
And I think a lot of things that drove me were wanting to play with my older siblings or wanting to do what my older siblings did. And one of those things, my earliest memory was my older brothers had Dragon Ball Z Budokai.
Oh, loved the game. Loved the game.
Yeah. And that was like one of the few games that I wasn't allowed to play with my older brothers, because it was rated T. At the time when I was like a little kid, and up until that point I was allowed to watch I grew up with Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and all that, but that was just Saturday cartoons. I didn't understand that was anime. But then eventually I was allowed to watch Dragon Ball because my older brother, I think, convinced my mom that it was like a kiddish version of this other show that he liked to watch. And, my mom didn't know that there was a fair amount of inappropriate things in Dragon Ball too.
I was just about to say, it's more raunchy than Dragon Ball Z, if we're being honest.
Yeah. So, maybe young little Joe maybe watched certain episodes more than others. But I was chomping at the bits to play this adult version of this show that I grew to love. And I wanted to see Big Kid Goku. I wanted to see adult Goku. I wanted to see this. And finally my brother was like, listen, Mom, he's played Street Fighter.
Mhm.
It's just like Street Fighter, but like they just scream a little bit and like they power up, they get angry and power up, and like that's it. They hurt each other with like light, mom, it's fine. Like nobody's like, it's
Mhm.
not like Mortal Kombat, I think was basically his combat to my mom. And finally she caved and was like, okay. And I think she watched me play it for like a little bit. And then she was like, no, okay, I'm fine with this. And I went full bore, and I was a Dragon Ball nut by the end of that, because then I was like, I'm so cool. I'm like one of the big kids. I'm not watching Dragon Ball. I'm watching Dragon Ball Z. And so I learned a lot about that. And then it was years after that when I was actually able to watch the show.
Okay.
And then I was sold. And then from there, I was finding my way through the internet, and finding anime on as creative as my little brain could be. I was finding it.
Okay, that's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. So that segues into like my next question. What's your top 5 anime of all time? I'm putting you on the spot here. That's what we do for the first time guests. We have a segment called putting you on the spot, and that's what I'm doing. Top 5 anime of all time.
Sure. It's such an evolving
Like
list.
list.
Um a piece of me almost just cheesed it. I almost was like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT. No, no.
Wait,
I
GT would
won't
have
do
been on
that.
the list?
Oh, absolutely. Yo,
Wow.
don't come at me. Don't come at me. I cried. When I was watching on I'll say it. I watched a lot on Kiss Anime back in the day.
Okay.
Rest in
Okay.
peace. Rest
Mhm.
in peace, Kiss Anime. You blessed me for my life. I'm an adult now. I pay for my stuff, so don't come at me. But back in the day, I cried when I clicked on the last episode of GT and I realized that there was no more. Like, I
Oh,
reached
that's
the end of
rough.
that journey.
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't even wanna know what Ethan's gonna do when One Piece ends," but
Oh, it's gonna be rough.
oh,
It's gonna be rough.
he's gonna have to take work off. Like,
Mhm.
he's gonna have a day. But, okay, my top 5. I told you I'd go on a tangent, man. I
No,
told
it's
you.
all good. I'm loving it.
Uh,
I'm loving the sauce here.
okay, so, Dragon Ball, I'll just say
Okay.
the universe.
Okay.
Full Metal Alchemist.
The original Brotherhood.
You know, am I allowed to just group them together? Because
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
think the first, like the beginning of the show for
Mhm.
the original Alchemist, or the original show Alchemist, um,
It's better than
does
Brotherhood.
it better than Brotherhood.
Mhm.
And I think that's on purpose, because Brotherhood's like, listen, they already did it. We can skip through this to where it
Yeah, for
shifts
sure.
off and splits off, which, like, I understand that. But like the first beginning of the show is definitely better. So I'm just gonna say Full Metal Alchemist, and like,
Mhm.
yes, I've seen both. Don't come at me. And there are whatever. I'm not gonna go on that tangent. Dragon Ball, Full Metal Alchemist. Um, I'd the guys would maybe be pissed at me if I don't put Demon Slayer up on there.
Okay, even with just the 2 seasons and 1 movie, you think it's ranks
Yeah,
up there?
it's I think it has, provided it doesn't like run into a wall,
Mhm.
I could see it being amazing. Cuz so far it's great.
Oh, I love it.
Um,
Absolutely love it.
I should have thought about this one a little bit more.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Naruto?
Okay, we're grouping in Shippuden and Naruto together, I take it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be real, I haven't seen a single episode of Boruto.
Oh, it's trash. Absolutely trash.
Um, I've seen some real cool fight scene clips,
Mhm.
but I don't want to slog
Tarnish and
through whatever.
yeah.
I'll just watch the fight scenes that actually have Naruto and Sasuke in them, and then I'll be on my way. Thank you very much. Um, last one. I don't know if this is true to my heart, but all that's in my brain right now is Hajime no Ippo.
Oh, okay, okay. Little
Are you
boxing
familiar?
action
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah,
Little
yeah, yeah,
boxing
yeah.
action, yeah.
That's such a good show.
I love it.
Um,
Hippo Rising might even be my favorite like subset of that series.
sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. The after the time jump
Mhm.
kind of thing. That show is fantastic. I feel like I'm gonna stay up late tonight and some show's gonna pop in my head and I'm gonna be pissed. Like some shorter show.
Mhm. That's a solid list though.
Wait. Can I switch out?
Which one you taking off?
Oh, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch Hajime no Ippo
Okay. Okay.
with just a little while ago I watched Iron Blooded Orphans for the first time.
Oh, what'd you think?
That was amazing.
Mhm.
I just gave myself shivers just like saying the name.
Mhm.
Like that was my first Gundam show I ever watched,
Mhm.
and that was a phenomenal show.
That's a solid list though. That overall, I don't feel like you named something that I think is like egregious in any way. I'm like, I don't necessarily
Sure.
think Naruto is a top 5 for me personally, but
Sure.
yeah, it's just because it has too many filler episodes.
See, and I'm a fan of the journey.
Mhm.
I think hot take, I think that there is something to be added from a certain amount of filler.
A certain amount, yeah,
A
but
certain amount of filler. Cause like I said, it was like it makes you feel like you earned the ending. I don't know. I
I
like
get it. I'm
I went through this journey. Like I worked to get here and it's all not worth it if the ending is crap.
Mhm.
But I don't I'm I'm a distance runner.
I understand, I get it. Like, I'm a One Piece fan, so I get, like, the journey. I get that
Yeah.
aspect of it,
Yeah,
but
okay.
I
Yeah. It makes it more impactful when certain things happen, I think,
yeah, it does, but on
to
the
a
other
certain
hand,
extent.
I'm like, I feel like Bleach, and don't get me wrong, I'm excited for the new season of Bleach, but, like,
Sure.
there is a whole 2 seasons of Bleach that could've just been, like, cut out, and it could've just been a lean just solid lean anime that would've been just
Oh,
perfect.
yeah. Jacob could talk to you about that. He's rewatching Bleach right now, and he was ranting to me and Ethan about how painful that his Bleach rewatch was,
Oh,
and
it's rough.
I have very
It's really
fond
rough.
memories of it,
Mhm.
but, like, when I think back, it's very splotchy memories, and I think
Mhm.
that's because there's so much filler, I think.
Oh, for sure, and so much
Yeah.
forgettable, like, it's forgettable filler, like, to your
Yeah.
credit earlier when you were mentioning, like, the journey of Naruto, that one feels like it is earned in a way because some of those filler feel like they're valid. Some of them feel like they add to the lore around the world. Bleach
Sure.
doesn't feel like that. Bleach just feels like more for the sake of more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I can understand that, absolutely.
Yeah, so top 5 anime of all time, that was a solid list. So what are you into currently? What are you watching nowadays?
I just finished Comey Can't Communicate.
Mhm.
That was
So
fun.
so what'd you think, though?
I okay, wait, let me amend my statement. I'm in season 2.
Okay.
Um I think it's great. Um
It's very cute. It
it's
really is.
very cute. It's very cutesy. And it's nice to unwind to at the end of the day kind of a thing. Like I
Mhm,
don't have to think other than like reading the subtitles and stuff, but
mhm.
I'm a big I have a little bit of a soft spot for not chibi style, but like you know when Komi has when she goes into like her embarrassed mode and her eyes get like really big and
Yeah,
she
the
like
art style
art
changes.
style
Mhm.
shifts. Like one of the early shows that I ever watched that was super memorable to me was this show called Azumanga Daioh, and it's similar-ish in ways to this to Komi Can't Communicate, in certain style choices and things. Um, and so I have a little bit of a soft spot to that. Anything that brings back any kind of nostalgia for me, I'm such a sucker for. And I love the message, behind patience and
Mhm.
communication and that interpersonal drive to try and keep searching for more where other people would stop.
Oh, that's
Um,
really cool.
I think it's a good message, and it's not like a lot of rom-coms
Mhm.
or like slice. It's not. I don't. Well, yeah, it's a rom-com,
No,
but
for sure, it is very much a rom-com.
like it's not. It's not like overly egregious with anything too much, except for there's this one character, but uh, but there's always one character.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it's a good show. Beyond that, I literally just before we got onto this call, I just finished episode 2 of Vinland Saga.
Whoa!
Um,
I'm so excited for you. Like, is this like you
it's
haven't watched it
great.
before?
I have not watched it before.
Oh, I'm so excited. Mhm.
Jacob, one of the other hosts. That's another good thing about our podcast is we, if somebody hasn't watched something, somebody else has, and he was telling us to watch Vinland Saga when it came out.
Oh, for sure. Y'all been
And
sleeping.
I've been sleeping on it. I'm busy. I'm editing stuff. All right. I don't watch shows unless it's scheduled for our podcast at this point. And I'm pissed off at Ethan because he went and he watched Spy Family.
Oh my
And
goodness,
I was
another
like,
one.
I was like, dude, I was specifically not watching this show so that we could watch it on the podcast. And I don't know, maybe we'll still talk about it. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But
Damn, I love it. It is
yeah,
phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
that's
Spy
what's
X
going
Family
on.
is it's probably I think right now that's probably my anime of the year.
What is it? Without telling me anything, is
Okay,
it
just
is it
surface
action?
level.
Is it what?
I'll just surface level describe it. It
Yeah,
is a
like what?
spy thriller / slice of life with very heavy, more so heavy on slice of life with a nuanced level of like spy characters, so to
Okay.
speak. Yeah.
So like Walking Dead is about zombies, but it's not about zombies.
Yeah, I would call this like Mr. and Mrs. Smith meets the how do I put that?
Are they assassins that try to kill each other and they fall in love? Sorry. No, I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, no,
No,
no.
don't
No,
answer.
I'm
Don't
not gonna
answer that.
spoil anything. I'm
Don't
not
answer
gonna
that.
spoil
Don't answer
anything.
that.
It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it is I'm trying to think of a adoption movie that I could like relate to this, but it is like Mr. and Mrs. Smith meets like the Tooth Fairy kind of adoption vibes. Also,
Okay.
and then combine that with a spy setting.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Because I did see like I've obviously seen pictures and images of the
Mhm.
show, and I was like, their daughter looks nothing like either of them.
No, no, no. It
So
is very much an adoption kind of situation.
cool.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we
And
keep
each
talking, I'm gonna try and keep. I'm gonna like throw
try to
out.
dig out
I'm
information.
gonna throw out. I'm gonna be like, so do the spies like? Do they kill the kid's parents accidentally and then feel bad and adopt the kid and like like I'm just like running through things in my head of possibilities. That it's a bad habit of mine. Like I tell people don't spoil something, and then I
Mhm.
immediately like throw out
Dig for it.
scenarios and
Dig
like
for
watch
it,
their
man.
reactions.
No,
Like, what are your eyes doing? Are you twitching? Did you smile there? What did you?
no, well, the only thing I'll tell you about the show, and it's very surface level, like I will tell you that the characters are lovable. Each character, they go out of their way to make you either care about them or at least show their personality. And I think
Cool.
that's one of the shining staples of the show.
Cool.
hmm
Cool.
So I won't say anything else other than like I think if nothing else, you're gonna fall in love with at least 3 characters in that show, and those 3 characters will carry you through that at least the first half of the season because I think the back end of the season comes out in the fall.
Oh, sick. It's not all out.
No, no, I think the first half is out, and then they'll release the
Oh,
rest later this fall.
I see.
Yeah, but it is really good, and I would recommend that. What else have you been watching?
I've been watching before the what's it called? What did I say? Not
Vinland Saga
Osmanga.
and
Yeah.
mhm.
Before that, I was just finishing up Demon Slayer, and then beyond that, I just play a lot of Smash, man. Like that's I I spend a lot of time in Smash. I used to be on my like I told you I just graduated.
Mhm.
I was on my university's Smash team.
Oh, that's dope.
I play Smash.
That is dope. That is dope. Coincidentally, I just interviewed a esports director for a collegiate college. So
Oh shoot! What
yeah,
what
so
school? What school? Wait, you don't gotta answer that if you're
no,
keeping
no,
secret.
no, no. It's not embargoed information or anything like that. But
Okay.
he runs like the conferences for a lot of universities, but he specifically does it in the Pennsylvania kind of like area.
Is this is this
I can link y'all up after the call for
where's
sure.
my phone? No, I might. He's based in the East Coast.
Yeah, I believe so.
Is this with? Because I think I played in his league. Is this with Team Meta?
No, but he works. I think he works with him though. Yeah.
I was employed by Team Meta for a little while.
Oh, how'd that go?
It was fun. I was a coach for
Oh,
one
okay,
of
that's dope.
the. I was a Smash coach for one team out in Boston, and we hooked up online and stuff, and we were doing that. But
So,
yeah.
do you feel like coaching is different, like than actually playing? Did you have the itch to play more so than just coach?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But in some ways, coaching made me a better player.
Hmm.
Because it forced me to step out of myself and look at the game from a different direction.
Okay.
Um, so it also helps you step away from because a lot of people get in the mode of just playing
Hmm.
and they forget that there is value in like legitimately like running drills and like playing the game differently for a couple different times to try and build a certain skill or build a new muscle memory. um and then also it's fun for me to look at one of the players, analyze their play style, and then maybe help them through, an identity crisis when they're like, I think I need to switch characters. And then you can be like, I think you do too. You should try this guy or this, character. I
Hmm.
think I think it would fit your style more and you won't have to have this kind of internal battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um but yeah, no, there's a lot of value to coaching. If you can find the gig, it's fun. It's fun.
So, what are the drills like for Super Smash Brothers? Like,
Sure.
what? How do you describe a Super Smash Brothers esports drill?
So there's lots of different things that you can do. Most of them are based around movement
Hmm.
or trying to drill in different habits. So, because when you're playing Smash, it moves so fast, especially Smash Ultimate,
Yeah, for sure.
um, or Smash Melee too. Even more so, it's super fast.
Hmm.
Um, when you're playing, like you're thinking about what you're doing, but you're not.
It's almost
Um,
reflex, you know.
yeah, so a lot of the drills are centered around adjusting your reflexes or adding things to your reflexes. Like, you might just spend a lot of time trying to waveland.
Okay.
So we would all go to big battlefield,
Oh, that's dope.
and I'd say, "Okay, first one to waveland all the way up to the top, of the pyramid, like, wins."
Okay.
Or or just doing it for a certain amount of time straight. Or there's one of my favorite, drills that I made up myself 'cause I'm a Samus main.
Oh, I was gonna ask you about your main.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
mhm.
So I'm a Samus main, and I was like, I had the itch. I was like, "I wanna do something. I wanna be involved. I don't wanna just talk." These kids, they're they're almost my age. Um, I was so we would go to Kalos, and I called it dodgeball or something like that.
Mhm.
And I would, as Samus, I would go all the way to the edge, and I would just throw missiles, guided missiles and power missiles and charge shots of varying degrees while jumping and staying still and all that. And their goal was to just not get hit. So you'd jump up and down and you would try to either stay in one place, like not move back and forth and just jump up and down or spot dodge or air dodge and things like that. Or we would shift it up and I'd say, okay, stop dodging and I want you to clang with each and every option. And
Okay.
part of that was just, movement and getting fluid. And then when we got really into it, we would do double dodgeball, and I'd make one of the guys be Pit or one of the guys be another Samus and stand on the other side of the stage. It would be really crazy.
Oh, that sounds
Bullet
fun.
bullet hell going on, and so a lot of that is getting cool under pressure too. Trying to keep your head and focusing on movement when you're super pressured. And then other things like King of the Hill, where the goal isn't to take the stock, it's to control center stage for the most amount of time during
Okay, that makes sense.
during the set. So that practices shifting the focus of the of your gameplay. Where some people get overly hungry and greedy on ledge or going off ledge and things. And it trains you to revert back to a safer option. Sometimes it you got to be aggressive, but sometimes you have to just survive and wait for your opponent to mess up and take advantage of it. So that's another drill that we like to do.
Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsor. This episode of the ProNerd Report was brought to you by patreon.com/the ProNerd Report. Do you want to support the show? Do you want to aid me in my quest to open up a waifu-themed fried chicken restaurant? If so, and you got some dollars to spare, you should become a Patreon producer. By becoming a producer, you can get the show a day early as well as get the show ad-free. We have some dope new tiers to check out, so definitely check out patreon.com/the ProNerd Report. Now, without further ado, let's get back to the show. So, Joe, how do you feel about the live-action adaptation of Yu Yu Hakusho that Netflix is about to do?
I'm hopeful. Yu Yu Hakusho is one of my OG shows. That's like what I watched after GT ended for me as a kid. And
Did it scratch that itch for you?
The Yu Yu Hakusho, the anime? Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
like the anime.
Oh yeah, it scratched that itch. It was fantastic. And I think there's definitely possibilities, but the main character that I'm worried about is oh shoot, what was his name? Is it Shu? No.
Is it Kuraba, the plant guy, or is it
the dude with the dragon, the dark guy, short?
Oh,
he has Vegeta hair.
Is his name Hiei?
Hiei. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hiei. 'Cause he, I think, will make or break things for me.
Oh, he's the best character in the entire show. So
yeah, and it also depends on what. I mean, I'm assuming they're doing the first arc of the show.
I'm assuming so. I think if I had a prediction of this, I think they go all the way through like basically Hiei and Kuraba, where like Yusuke actually faces them, and before they actually turn good. Spoiler alert for the 20-year-old show. I think they keep it very light. I think it's going to be maybe 8 episodes. They lead up to that, and I feel like the first 3 episodes are just going to be about Yusuke's basically the egg saga, where he's basically trying to get brought back to life.
Yeah. I forgot about the egg.
I don't even think they touched the tournament arc. Like for if they get up to 3 seasons, I think they don't touch it until like season 2.
I would not be upset if they like bulldoze through everything just to get to the tournament arc fast. Because if they did that, there is few fights in anime that stick out in my brain on the same level as Yusuke and the demon dude with the glasses putting their knives in the ground.
Oh yeah, that was
they
a dope
both
fight.
stand. One heel is on the knife, and you can't move. Just like man v man, you ain't going anywhere. You were just slugging it out. If you move, you're a coward.
I was looking. Toguro was like the big one with glasses.
Oh yeah. Oh shoot, what's the dude who does the knives then? That's a different guy.
I think it was like
earlier
Sensu was like the smaller one, and he was like Toguru's younger brother. I thought he was the knife one as well, right?
Sure. Yeah. The big dude with the glasses who then like gets like crazy shoulders.
Oh yeah, he muscles up.
That's not the dude with the knives. That's my bad.
No,
It's been
but
so
I
long.
think no, it's been a while since I've seen the show as well. I think it's been like maybe 4 or 5 years minimum since I've
Sure.
rewatched it. But yeah, I think that's to me that's one of my favorite like shonen anime of all time is Yu Yu Hakusho. I feel like I'd rather see it remade than actually like Netflixified.
Right,
Give it
like
modern graphic or modern art aesthetic. I would like
yeah.
to see what this could look like with a maybe it's taboo to say this, but like a Sword Art Online like art style.
Sure.
For
No,
yeah.
I don't think that's great. So many people hate on Sword Art, but and I mean like for good reasons. I mean, I stopped after I think I saw like a smidgen of Gun Gale or whatever that was.
That wasn't for me. I was out.
And I just didn't continue.
Mhm.
Um, but say what you will, it's beautifully animated.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's
It is
like
gorgeous.
it's one of the most stunning shows out there.
Mhm.
And season 1's amazing. I don't care what you say.
Season
Season
1's
1
good.
season 1's
It
fantastic. That's one of the most like heart-wrenching like romance
mhm.
stories I've like ever seen in anime. It
Is
was
that your genre
crazy.
of choice? Like I'm detecting that you like a lot of rom-coms here.
I'm a big sucker for the action ones just because I think DBZ is such a rooted in my head.
Mhm.
But I'm a teddy bear. Yeah, I'll say it.
Okay, I gotcha.
I've seen a lot. But I think my heart and soul is in action ones, but I I mean, you could also just say that action saturates the anime world, so it's almost hard not to
No,
be
to your
into
point
the
though, there
action
is
things
like
more.
a lot of action, but I feel like rom-com are starting to like trickle into that action genre as well. There's some
There's
like
more and
mixtures between
more.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
I think I think that that's the anime space is becoming more and more blended in that, which I think is what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Like, it's less about a bunch of these separate super niche
Genres, so to
interests
speak. Mhm.
that, like, go completely balls to the walls with whatever that specific thing is, and people are recognizing that people or studios are recognizing that people like complexity.
Yeah.
Like Fullmetal Alchemist is a
Mhm.
great example of that. And, you could say, like,
We like actual nuanced characters. We like real life humans, so to
yeah,
speak.
yeah,
Mhm.
dive into bad guys that are not completely bad or, like, you can have a romance in the background of something, but have it not be overdone at specific parts in the show and then forgot about in other parts of the show.
Mhm.
I just thought of another show I should have put in my top 5, Psychopaths.
Oh, that's dope. That's a really good one.
Anyway.
That's a really good one.
But yeah, no, things are becoming more and more blended.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that
You
that's good.
especially with the wave of isekai that we've been getting lately. Like there's been so
Yeah.
many isekai and a lot of those are even though a lot of the isekai add like different twists to what they're doing, whether or not the protagonist is like creating a pharmacy or the protagonist is like a lucha wrestler. It is very much
Yeah.
like yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
blending in a little bit.
It's funny how they keep I'm amazed that the genre of isekai hasn't I mean, I to a
Plateaued
cer
yet?
yeah, like, to a certain extent, you could say that a bunch of them are just the same thing, but, they're doing a good job at, somewhat keeping it original, like,
Mhm.
and it's a it's crazy. I haven't seen, what is it? Evolution of the Shield Hero or something like
That one's
that.
decent. Yeah, season 2
Um,
kinda dropped off, but that
yeah,
it's a decent show.
Jacob and Ethan were talking about that one, and they were
Mhm.
saying that's a fun one. But I like to point I'm a big fan of parodies.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of parody shows or, like, shows that they might not be parodies, but they're kind of full of jokes that kind of break the fourth wall and kind of,
Okay.
like, point through the screen
Mhm.
and wink. And I think what's the one? It's, how to pick up girls in dungeon Or is
Yeah,
it
yeah,
wrong?
yeah.
Is
Is it
it
wrong
wrong
to
to
pick up
pick
a
pick
girl in a
something up?
dungeon? Yeah, it's
And
1 through 4. Yeah.
it's that's I don't think I'm caught up in the show because I think it's continued,
Oh yeah, it's still
but
going.
the first part of it, I remember I started with Jacob. He came
Mhm.
over to my apartment one time back when I was in Arizona, and we were just like hanging out and flipping through, and we were like, wouldn't it be funny if we just try and find like the trashiest thing right now? And we clicked on it, and it just ended up actually just, like, being a good show. And
Yeah, it is surprisingly
we were just
fun.
like "We weren't supposed to like this. This
No.
wasn't
No, not at all.
this wasn't what was supposed to happen tonight."
No.
Um, but that's it's got some fun parts.
It is a really well done show. I
Yeah.
think if you really like the kinda like satire genre, have you tried, Konosuba?
No. What is this?
Oh,
Educate me.
Konosuba is amazing. I think Konosuba, I've said this on the show before, is my favorite anime, like comedy anime of all time. Like
Oh, shoot. That's
it
high
is very
flying.
much it's satire, but it is also like an isekai. The guy gets reincarnated into another world, but they flip
Oh,
everything
okay.
on its head. But because like instead of like him getting like some OP kind of power or OP kind of like ability,
Sure,
he
sure, sure.
basically asks, okay, forgo all that. Let me just get you as the goddess. He's like, I want you. I want you to be on my squad because I feel like with you, I'll have the easy life. And
Oh, I
it's
think I've heard of this. As
yeah.
you're describing it, I'm like, maybe I've read the description somewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's gotten pretty popular, but yeah, so she comes to the reincarnated world and she is absolutely useless and
Ah.
absolutely useless in the worst way possible. She is a god who can reincarnate people, but like
Yeah,
she gets into this world and it's just absolute trash at pretty much every aesthetic that would be
that's
good to like an
amazing.
adventurer.
That's a great concept. I love
Mhm.
that. Okay,
And then
okay.
it gets crazier because he meets other people who want to join his party, and they are also trash at what they do. Or like,
Amazing. So, like, every person he befriends and brings onto his squad is just like, "Oh,
yes,
no, you suck."
yeah, and they suck in different ways. Like one girl is so overpowered, but she can only use her power one time, and after she uses it,
Love it.
she's done. She's comatose. So he has to carry her around the battlefield after she uses her one little ability.
Amazing. Okay,
I
okay.
think that one's one you should check out if you also like satire. The Devil's a Part Timer is like the
I
opposite of an isekai.
have been hearing
Mhm.
about that show since high school, and I don't know why I haven't
Jump into that
watched
one.
it.
Mhm.
I think I've seen, like
Clips of it.
I might have seen, like, the first episode at one point, and then just, like, I don't know what I did. I got back into Naruto or something because
Yeah.
Naruto took me a long time, and like, jumped back and forth, but, um, I something like that probably happened, and I think I've seen a clip of, like, the final fight or something
Mhm.
where he, like does he fight, like, Gabriel or, like, some angel some biblical
It
angel?
is very much, yeah. I believe that is the final, at least the final 1 or 2 episodes. So,
And it's like crazy cool fight that's, like, totally not what the
oh yeah,
rest
they
of the
blew their
series
whole
is like.
budget on that one
Yeah,
fight.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I just remember hearing people talk about it, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, that sounds cool. Let me go back over here to,
But the
Naruto
crazy
see what
thing
he's
is,
like."
that's not the crux of the show. The crux of the show is like he was the demon lord of his universe, of his
Yeah,
world, and he just, got bored and decided, "Hey, I want to go to another world. I want to be reincarnated to another world." So he goes instead of going to the fantasy world, he goes into the human world,
yeah,
and like his one servant joins him, and the servant's like, okay, what do we do? How do we survive?
yeah,
We
yeah,
have
yeah.
powers, but we are not trying to like get exposed here. So how
Sure,
do we
all
survive
those
that?
hijinks.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And he decides he wants to basically work at their version of McDonald's.
I've seen
Yeah,
yeah, and he's got, like,
yeah,
the visor hat and
yeah,
everything.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. I've seen the images, and I think I think it's a fun idea. I think one that I have been wanting or no. Have you ever heard of, Samurai Pizza Cats?
No, what is this madness? Samurai Pizza Cats? Is this on
So
Crunchyroll?
this is maybe.
Okay.
I
Samurai Pizza
I
Cats.
I don't know. It's very old. It's from the 80s. Um it's very stupid. But it's fun. It's literally about a group of cats
They look like
that
Mega Man characters.
oh yeah, no, absolutely. It's just a group of cats that fight crime. It's like Power Ranger-esque in concept ish. And
Okay.
their daily lives, they run a pizza restaurant, and then if there's an emergency call, they all open up the pizza ovens in the back of the restaurant and go into them down tubes as they transform into their super suits, so they get launched out of a
What?
cannon to go fight the crime, man. And what's better is this was during the time in the 80s when it was being ported over, when things were being ported from Japan to America, and it was
Mhm.
like very loose on things,
Mhm.
and like the companies didn't think that the American population would like be down for whatever was going on in Japan, so they would change a lot, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's called Samurai Pizza Cats. But one of the key things, and I'm ashamed I didn't notice this at the beginning because I'm a trash bag, but but we talked about it on our podcast, and Jacob was like, "Dude, they're all ninjas. They're not samurai. They're ninjas." And I was like, "Oh, you're right."
That is right. They
And
do look like ninjas.
I was like, "Oh no." But like that's one thing. And then the dub versus the sub is
Completely
like
different world.
crazy different. I truly believe the best way to consume this show is watching the original sub
Mhm. And then
and
watching the
then watch
dub.
the same episode in dub and just see how crazy different it is. Like the plot completely shifts sometimes. And it's like, I don't know how you did this by only changing the words, but it's impressive. And I think it's the most funny thing in the world.
Okay, I'll have to check this one out. We're adding it to the list now. Samurai Pizza Cats.
Samurai Pizza Cats, man, bring it up. It needs to get popularity. I would love
Okay.
if I
We're gonna we're gonna
go
have
on a
this revived.
campaign, be a Samurai Pizza Cats evangelist, man.
We're gonna revive Samurai Pizza Cats. What is the world coming to?
That's my mission in life right now.
Okay. You're shooting for the stars here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're shooting for the stars here. So, man, so other than Samurai Pizza Cats, you've been watching some Demon Slayer. Now, were you impressed with like the first season, the first two seasons, and the
Oh,
movie?
I think it's phenomenal.
Hmm.
I think I love the concept. I love the idea that, well, I don't know how
Okay, hold on.
spoilers.
Well, we're gonna do spoilers in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. Okay. Ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen, if you do not want to hear about Demon Slayer, the first basically three parts of Demon Slayer, go ahead and fast forward 3 minutes. Let's go with 3 minutes.
sure. Are you caught up?
Yeah, I'm caught up.
Okay, sick. So the idea of all the other forms of breathing being other people's attempts at copying this like original form of breathing,
Hmm.
I think that's amazing.
It's a
I
really
think
cool concept.
I think it's
Hmm.
great on like such a conceptual level. Cuz a lot of and it relates to so many things. Like you could make it analogous to like religion. You could make it like you could make it as deep or as surface level as you
Hmm.
want, and I love things like that. Beyond that, the animation is mwah, you know.
Oh
You're like
yeah, it's a chef's kiss.
you can't say anything wrong about it. I love so far the range in character development from the or not development, the range in character archetypes from the Hashira,
Hmm.
um, and all the demons that we've seen so far. I think nobody has been a complete copycat of somebody else, at least like
No,
to a
they've all
T.
feel diverse. Hmm.
And I'm excited to see the Hashira that's going to be focused on next.
Hmm.
Um, and I love the idea of the swords changing colors, kind of giving us an insight to a little bit about the people. And my prediction, and I don't think it's too crazy, is, everybody's at the beginning is like, oh no, he's got the black sword. Tanjiro's got the black sword. It's like nobody has ever been able to do anything with a black sword. And I think that that's simply because nobody has been able to do what was needed to be done, or nobody had like the secret sauce
Mm-hmm.
to handle the black swords.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tanjiro is going to have that, and it's going to be like the most powerful thing, I think, and it's going to be so sick. Or I would also be totally fine with the reality of it actually being not special at all.
I don't
Like
think it's going to be.
having it be like literally just like a normal sword, like might as
Mhm.
well be just like iron, and he's out here just whooping people with like a basic sword. Like
Mhm.
that would also be cool. If that's like the end all be all thing.
Do you think they make it out alive? Do you think him and his sister, everyone makes it out alive? Because that show, for all of its for all of its
Oh
nuanced faults, I love the fact that there's actually like ramifications in that show. They drop
yeah,
bodies in that show.
yeah, and people stay dead.
Oh yeah,
It
for sure.
it doesn't it doesn't have the Dragon Ball.
Yeah, and I like that. There's weighted consequence in that, and I
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah. The thought of the main characters not making it out alive has never crossed my mind.
I don't think they are. I don't think at least let's say the four main characters, Tanjiro and the
Yeah.
crew. I don't think all the four of them are gonna make it out.
Huh. I think I've never dedicated any thought to this. If anybody dies,
Nezuko?
I no. If anybody dies, I think it will be Zenitsu.
Oh, you think in the moment of courage or something?
That's like, yeah. My prediction right now on the spot, I have not thought about this before right now. I think if anybody dies, it would be Zenitsu. I think he will have like he'll hit his peak of courage.
Mhm.
He'll be like, oh, he finally is doing like crazy stuff 24/7, and or he finally has his breakthrough, and in a sacrificial almost moment he would die, I think.
I
Um
think he is going to die. I think he is also going to be the Krillin of the show. I think he's going to be the
well, he
death
is
that
the villain of the show.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure, but like, I think he's gonna be the
Yes.
Krillin in the sense that, like, in the Frieza saga, like, Krillin was the
Shoot.
motivator,
Oh, and then his death will unlock something.
and
I could
Tanjiro.
totally see
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
I could totally see that happening. I could totally see that happening. And I am saying all this, and I know my co-host Ethan is going to listen to this, and Ethan has read all the manga. Ethan's
Oh,
finished.
okay. I've never
Eth-
read a single page in the manga, so
yeah, Ethan's finished with the story, and he's
Mhm.
like sitting on pins and needles. And he's been very gracious to keep his mouth zipped as much as possible. And which is frankly impressive. But that man doesn't wait for things. That man is impatient. If he ever has an issue with the show, he is always going to bring up pacing. And that's what impressed him about Demon Slayer was he was like, I love the pacing. They had their training arc and it literally lasted one episode. And I was like, you're right. And he was like, it was glorious. And I was like, I kind of didn't like that.
You wanted a more, like, a
I
more
I
patient
love the journey.
Mhm,
Like I mentioned Hajime no Ippo earlier.
mhm.
That entire show is a training arc.
Oh, it really is. It really is.
That entire show is one big training arc, and I love that.
Man, I'm right there
But
with you. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I like
different
aspects of
people.
that. Yeah, I like aspects of that because I do like the fact that Demon Slayer is a little more, like, straightforward to the point.
Yeah,
It
and
is
it's
a
great.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
For sure. So let's talk about Dragon Ball's superhero.
Oh,
Last topic of the show, the main topic of the show.
oh,
So
okay.
diving deep into it. So you and I are both gonna watch this in the upcoming weeks.
Yes.
What did you think of the trailers leading up to the premiere coming out?
So I'll take you through. Have you ever had like an evolution of emotions as you're
Yeah,
prepping
yeah.
up through things? So I very much have had an evolutionary journey with my mindset going into this movie. Initially, when all we had was like screenshots and
Mhm.
like the title. No, initially we had the title, right?
Mhm.
I was like, that's stupid. I was like, I hate that title. It reminded me of my high school.
Mhm.
Red Mountain, and our mascot was mountain lions.
Ooh.
So the chance was Red Mountain, mountain lions, go fight, win, and that double mountain in there just
Mm.
irked me to no end. And Dragon Ball Super Superhero has the same issue, so that pissed me off. And then we got screenshots, right, or like some images,
Yeah.
and I was like,
No.
why does this look like an Xbox 360's game?
That's exactly my it looks like Tenkaichi and Budokai. That's what it
Yeah.
looks like to me.
I was like, what is this? And then I got further upset. Then I heard or figured out through Instagram spoilers. God, I hate you. Uh, and I have a Google Pixel
Mhm.
for my phone, and if you swipe left and stuff, there's just like a Google timeline of news stories,
Oh, that
and like,
sucks. Oh, no.
oh, dude, that thing is so tailored into me and my
Mhm.
interests, and I can't go into that without having some kind of spoiler thing that I didn't even know I didn't want to know about.
Oh, that
Uh,
sucks.
and so like I was seeing all kinds of things, but I figured out that it kind of centers around Gohan
Mhm.
and Piccolo, and I was like,
Yeah.
hype. I was like, okay,
I love that.
sick.
Love that.
You know,
Mhm.
Piccolo is well overdue for some hype new thing. You
Mhm.
know, like in the Universal Tournament or the Tournament of Power saga in Super, um, we saw the Nameks from the other universe that absorbed like their entire planet
Mhm.
to then go fight. I was like, that's crazy. That's
It's a really cool concept.
that's fantastic. And Piccolo doesn't have the option of doing that. His whole race is dead.
I mean, Namek's
What?
back though. He
Oh
could
shoot,
go
yeah,
up to
no, they're
Namek.
back.
Yeah.
But still, like he doesn't have that option on Earth and stuff.
Well,
And
hold on. Before you continue, though, can you
yeah,
imagine how demoralizing it must be to absorb your whole entire planet and then
and
still
then
get your ass whooped
lose.
in the tournament? Do you know how bad that
Oh,
actually
dude,
is?
yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that I liked about the Tournament of Power was,
Mhm.
yeah, there was a lot of like last. You could tell that it was all these species and things that were going into their like last ditch efforts
Mhm. To
to
actually
to
survive.
survive,
Mhm.
and things had gravity. But then they went and they Dragon Balled it, and you know,
Everyone's okay in the
and
end.
everyone's
Ah.
okay. And it's like I knew in my heart of hearts that that was going to be the wish at
Mhm.
the end. Like I knew. I was like, you can't introduce characters like the like Khalifa and what was the boy saying?
The
Uh
Vegeta clone.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
Vegeta wannabe.
Mhm.
Um I was like, you can't introduce characters like this and give the Saiyan race hope for continuing
Mhm.
without having future intentions with them. Like you can't.
No, you can't.
Uh, so I knew that, but still, they went and Dragon Balled it. But whatever. Um,
So the trailer, you liked it? You didn't?
I then yeah. So then we got the images, and then the trailers kind of started bringing me around. When
Mhm.
I saw Red Ribbon, I was like, okay, bringing back some classic kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they're back to their old shenanigans. Really hated the image of the little fat gangster dude, who looks like the ringleader kind of
Oh,
a
yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
But then like trailer 2 came out, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of liking it a little bit more. I saw like what the actual dude who I think they're fighting looked like, and I was like, okay, I could get behind this. And the more and more I see it, the more I can be okay with the 3D stuff. But I had to like get heavily exposed to it.
It didn't feel
Um,
Dragon Ball to me, like the
it
3D animation.
it didn't. It felt like a game. Like
Mhm.
it felt like I was watching a cutscene on one of the games.
Mhm.
Um, And I don't know. I still might go into the show or into the movie and come away with like, I just wish it was hand drawn or something, you know?
Oh, I very much wish that because I
Yeah.
think let's just be real. Like you go from what I imagine to be like one of the apex movies in Return of F. Like I love that one. I love
Oh, that's an Apex for you, eh?
I think that one, the Broly one, right afterwards. Both of those are really good
I think Broly
super
is
movies.
amazing.
I think it's fantastic.
And
Even just the jumpers they're wearing right before they fight
sure,
Broly
yeah,
are
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
cool.
Listen. Get my Z fighters in more street clothes, okay?
Yeah,
That's all I want. I don't care if that's like a One Piece thing. You go to a new island, everybody gets everybody gets new outfits. I don't care. Do it. I want to see. You know how many times I've seen that shot of like Goku in like the Supreme hoodie and
hmm
stuff. Like that's such an internet thing, but like that's like
it'd
all
be
anybody
so dope.
wants. Ever since we had the getting your driver's license episode of Z, all
hmm
anybody wants is everybody in street clothes. Like it's so cool. And but then speaking on Broly, the Broly movie, I had to check myself a little bit because I looked back and I watched the Broly movie again recently and I was like, there's a lot of 3D animation in that one.
It is, but it's a little sparse
And
in
it's
comparison to
spliced
that.
in between and it's only used in specific parts. But I told myself that and I was like, it was very good. So if they can bring something like that in,
hmm
I'll walk away with something that I can be like okay about. Now, have you been spoiled?
Yeah,
Completely?
I've
I'm
been
completely
completely
spoiled
like
too.
spoiled. Yeah.
I'm completely spoiled too. And I will never forgive Instagram. Uh I will never forgive Instagram for this. Like I'm so pissed about like I know the next like 3 villains in Dragon Ball Super.
hmm
And I know what's happening to our main characters or
hmm
like what's going to, let's just say, evolve
Yeah.
if in this next movie, and I'm pissed that I know now. I don't know the details of what it is, so I'm curious to see how they explain things, because if it makes like 0 sense, it is going to irk me. Like
Oh yeah.
if it's an upgrade just for the sake of having an upgrade, I will be irked.
Oh, I bet. I
Uh
bet. Dragon Ball has never really been like super great at basically the narrative part of their stories though. It's always been
yeah,
about the power-ups, getting to the fights, and the story
yeah,
has kind of been taking a back seat cuz there's no way you can take like the Red Ribbon Army serious. After
yeah.
we have after we've had gods, so to speak. You can't go back down to
Right.
the Red Ribbon Army.
Right. So I'm like, that's another thing. I'm like, how are these guys gonna push Gohan and Piccolo to like the next level? Because it's like they I have a hard time imagining that the Red Ribbon Army can get anything better than Cell, you know?
And even then, I'm like, we don't need that story. We already got that story.
Yeah. We already
We
got that
already got
story.
that
And you could
story.
even
So,
make the argument that Majin Buu is like a repeat of Cell in a lot of ways. Like
oh, for sure.
he's just absorbing people for their a little bit of their power. And it's like give me something unique. Um but
That's why I really enjoyed the Tournament of Power because it felt unique. Jiren
yeah,
felt unique.
I love Jiren.
Mhm.
Jiren's theme is on my workout playlist.
Oh, it should be. It is really dope. It is really dope.
Oh, just the slow moving guitar. Oh, it's just the embodiment of dread. It's
It
so
is
good.
really dope.
So
So
good.
you're gonna have to watch the movie and come back on the show and tell us what you think about it. We're gonna have to like fully
I'd
go
love to
deep into it.
decompress with you about Dragon Ball Super here.
Yeah, for
I
sure,
can't
for
even
sure.
say the name without like
Cringing. It feels
like
cringeworthy.
I gotta smile. Like I
Mhm.
can't. Oh man.
It is bad, but
Oh
I'm
man.
so we're both gonna watch this in the next couple of weeks, and we're gonna have to touch base, get you back on the show, and we're gonna just have to go deep dive and give our impressions of it. How's that sound, Joe?
I'd be down for that, my guy.
All right, all right. So we're all out of time for this episode, but before you go, where can the good people find you?
Oh, sure. So, we have a website, devilfruitpodcast.com. Um, you could also find us on our Instagram, at DevilFruit Podcast. If you want a little bit more into us, a little deep dive, you could come to my YouTube channel, DevilFruit Joe, all one word. I stream there, play a lot of Smash. But I branch into other things too. But Jacob and Ethan join me on there every now and then as well. So it's kind of like bonus content, I guess.
That's
Yeah,
good. That's
yeah.
really good. So everyone go ahead and check out all the stuff that the Devil Fruit crew is dropping. They're dropping some hot dimes, some really good content. Go check them out. Thank you so much for being on the show, Joe.
Thank you for having me. It was a fun time.
Man, it was really good. It was really good. I can't wait to have you back in a couple weeks to go full-fledged into Dragon Ball superhero.
Yeah, and maybe we'll finish our anime list that we
Oh,
tangented off of.
Man, we tangented off of
I
it so hard.
told you in the emails before. I was like, "Hey, man, if you're ready, prepared for some off the cuff and on the tangent stuff, like,
No,
we'll
it
be
was all
okay."
good. It's all good. I feel like we made gold regardless, so
All
I
right,
love it.
okay.
I love it. But thank you again for joining us on the show, Joe. We're gonna have to catch you in the next one.
All right, peace out,
All right,
everybody.
peace out. Yo, once again, I want to thank Joe from the DevilFruit Podcast for joining us on today's episode of the ProNerd Report. So that's it for today's show. Just a reminder, you can get the show later on the ProNerd Report YouTube channel as well as all your favorite podcast services. If you liked what you heard, please leave a dope review and subscribe. The ProNerd Report releases every single week and brings you the dopest topics and guests in the nerd community. This is your host, Sebastion. I can be found at SebastianSDM3 on all social media platforms. We thank you for joining us and we hope to catch you in the next one. Holla at your boy later. Peace.